Okay, somebody asked me the other day, just the other day, maybe yesterday, when I was going to be using this ginormous manure spreader, or litter spreader as we would say. And I just never answered them because I knew that it was coming pretty quickly. Here it is, Landco Manufacturing Company, manure spreader. Yeah, it is going to be put to use today. Today is its lovely day. I don't know much about this machine. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to make it work. I don't know anything about it, but we're going to learn together because this is one complicated mofo. Right? Complicated mofo. It has more wires and more hydraulic hoses and more issues, more things on it than I've ever seen in my life when it comes down to these things. But I've got my 8530, which it takes no less than 250 horsepower to run that thing, and the 8530, as you all know, it's like the spec on it is supposed to be what, 335. This one dynoed at 374, so it should do it. Does this have a big PTO? Yes. Good. Whoever used this thing before obviously didn't know what a grease gun was, would you say? Would you say that no, they did not know what a grease gun looked like? I would say they didn't know what a grease gun looks like, and I say that with the utmost respect to whoever, if they're watching this video. Grease is the cheapest insurance policy you can buy. It comes in a nice little tube. I will show you what it looks like. It's pretty simple. It comes in tubes. They come in different varieties and different types. You know, I use the Lucas Red and Tacky because that's a quality grease that just so happens to be, it was on sale, and I have no problem buying stuff on sale as long as it's quality. I usually use Valvoline Crimson, which I do put into my G-Gun by Lock and Lube. Where's that other grease gun? The green one. Underneath. What the hell do they have it? Okay, so here we've been greasing right along, and everything's very dry. This is what a grease gun looks like. I'm not a Lock and Lube fanboy, but I will tell you, I really like the quality of Lock and Lube. They work really good. I was introduced to them by a fan of mine, and right now his name slips my mind. It's a rather unique name, so I believe he's from Connecticut or Massachusetts. For the life of me, I can't remember. I'm terrible with that stuff. But anyways, for a manure spreader or a litter spreader that costs $80,000+, it'd be just really cheap to buy a $4 tube of grease or even a 40-cent tube of grease and use it. Hey Tim, there's another bank of grease zerks over here. Alright, well, yeah. Anyway, there's grease zerks everywhere on this thing. So, with that being said, we're going to spread some material today. This power takeoff shaft was so fucking dry. I mean, so dry. Did you shut that off?
I had to.
Oh, why?
I need to spend the PTO.
Oh, okay. So this drive shaft was so dry, it was rusted. And at some point, someone had sheared it off here, and then they put it back together. They welded it there. That CV joint right here, which is a very expensive CV joint, like that thing is like $2,000 for this whole entire PTO shaft, like $2,000. You want to grease that every 6 to 8 hours. If you don't do that, you're foolish. I'm sorry, just foolish. The one thing I know I don't like about this manure spreader is it is so god-awful low to the ground. I mean, really low to the ground. You go to cross any kind of ditch or anything, you're going to be dragging that bitch. So that's an issue for me right there. I do know that I'm probably, when I get this thing fired up, I'm going to get it fired up. I'm not going to put oil on the chains. I don't think I am anyway. I may. I got enough used engine oil here. I may just lube those chains up and run it a little bit to get them all broke free and lubricated, because I do have a lot to do today, and I just don't want to be having problems. And then, of course, I'll have to adjust this. But yeah, so I guess I've yammered on about grease and stuff long enough. And you know, every day you have to grease these machines every single day. The other thing I noticed is that this brake, this is the brakes for the machine. I have a brake system on the 8530 and on the 8120 and on the 7530. I have brakes on a lot of different tractors, brake systems, hydraulic brake systems, and this machine is set up with hydraulic brakes because it holds 20 plus tons of material. So I will be attaching those. They were never used before, So whoever was doing this, if they loaded it to the roof, they definitely had Mr. Toad's Wild Ride if they have any hills where this thing was used at. So brakes are a must for me. I'm going to clip those wire ties off and get that hooked up and just go about my day greasing this machine. Uh-oh. Yes, Tim?
The ones that are hanging on the spring are for the guillotine.
The what?
The guillotine.
What's that? Oh, hey, Tim, we're just going to hook it all up and we're going to see what happens. He's underneath there. There are a lot. In whoever used this thing before's defense, I will say there's an astronomical amount of grease zerks on it. But, huh?
You broke one.
What?
A zerk.
Where?
One that goes onto the...
I got to change it. Why are you screwing with that little grease gun?
Because I can't fit under here with that thing underneath it.
Oh, okay. At least you didn't have your mouth full when you said that. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to work on this end of it. Timothy's going to play around with the grease zerks. And hopefully, this is computer controlled, so I'm going to have to get the monitor out and get that monitor figured out and see if it even works for that matter. But anyway, that's just that. I'll see you in a little bit. Hopefully. Okay, we're all greased up here. Got the 8530 on it. Makes that tractor look small. Here, let me get another view here. I just figured out how to make the thing work. You know, just actually work. But I'm gonna step back here and I'm gonna stand probably dead center to the machine. Now that's an 8530, as you know, those things are big. But doesn't that manure spreader make that thing look tiny? Nice thing about this manure spreader or litter spreader, it does have brakes all the way around, so it'll get me stopped if I have an issue. Mr. Tim is coming and he's gonna go ahead and fill her up. It does have a scale on it, so it weighs the load cells and everything are all there. And it do work. And it's going to tell me how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be, obviously. I don't know what he's doing. I need that damn thing loaded. Is he coming or not? So I think I'm learning a little bit on how to make this sucker work. It seems to be doing what it's supposed to do. And if you look out the back there, I'm going to give this to Timothy here pretty soon. Claims to be a 75-foot spread pattern. I'm putting down, what, 3 tons to the acre, 2.83 tons to the acre. I want more, though. I need more, so we're just going to go ahead and hold that button down, and hopefully she goes up. No, won't do it. I want 4 tons to the acre, 4.5, 5 tons to the acre. Let's do 4.5 tons to the acre. And that should spread it nice. We'll put that kind of material to the acre. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You will have a crop of corn. I'm going to do this twice to grow this corn. Yes, sir, twice. And it all runs off of that. It does. It all runs off of that scale. You can watch the weight go down. We started out with 12 tons, and it's actually working pretty friggin' nice. Now we got 6 tons left. We got half of it gone. Down and back, half of it gone. This is going to take a lot. Now, when I'm doing hay, I'm only going to put 1.5 tons to the acre for hay, but this is going to be corn and soil building. This will all be killed off, and we're going to put corn in here because the hay got drowned out this summer. Now look at that shit go. Yep. So this thing does have a what do you call it? A GPS unit to it, but I don't know. It seems like I haven't figured that part out yet. I will eventually. Look at that stuff hitting the ground. So I think we're doing pretty good with this machine. Hopefully. Hopefully everything goes well. I do have a fair amount to spread. This is just a test run. I'm going to go ahead and take off down over to the farm. I got a couple of flat fields over there. This is on a hillside. I'm afraid it'll wash. There's just not enough material here to really hold it in place. I'm going to try for some flatter fields. But I got a lot of material here, so I'm going to get Timothy to actually get me this stuff here, and because this is the oldest and it needs to go. But yeah, holy cow, what do we got left in there? 2.5 tons to the acre. Yep, that's what we got left. Oh man, I'll tell you, you don't hardly even know that it's going on. This is generally a product you'd spread in the spring versus the fall. But you know what? If it's on, right? What's the worst that can happen? I can go faster, I guess. My target, no, it's under application. I need to slow me down here a bit. I think about 4 miles an hour. Yep, there you go. The real nice thing about this spreader is when you want to shut it off, you just hit that button. So when you come to the end of the headlands, you hit that button and then it stops the apron chain. Yep, stops the apron chain and then you're done. I'm actually kind of thrilled the way this is working. We got 3 tons the acre. I'm down to 1 ton left. Still saying I got an under application. That just means that things are a little bit funky there. Now this will have to be cleaned out completely if we have frozen weather. It'll turn into a nightmare. And it's saying under application because we're just about empty. We got half a ton left. You just slow your joystick down and that's it. But with that being said, I think I'm going to go say I wouldn't want a smaller tractor on here, and this is going to become a regular fertilizer program for me. So I'm thinking of finding like an 8640 or a 8650 John Deere articulated to hook up to this thing. That'll be heavy enough. The amount of weight that's on the ass end of this thing is unbelievable. The tractor don't have to be that good, it just has to be big to carry the weight. Something with quad ranger power shift and heat, because we're going to do it in winter. Anyway, yeah, I got this thing pegged. Woo-wee. I don't know why that was still on, but we're moving. Still picks up speed going up the hill with, I got 10.45 tons on. It's about 10.5 tons on. Yeah, I could have put more on. I guess this batch is a little drier than the first. I'm going to try and spread as much of this stuff as I can today. If I get it all spread, then I feel like I've accomplished something worthwhile anyway. Yep. And the nice thing is with this thing, you get it rolling at 26 miles an hour, you put your foot on the brake, she stops. It's got nice brakes on it, which work really well for me, I think. I love it. Yep. Watch this, ready? Brakes! Stop on a dime and spit out change. This is the field I'm hitting. Doesn't look like I've put anything on. It does a really, really good job of tearing it out. Alright, it's getting dark out. This thing works pretty slick. I'm going at 7 miles an hour, putting 2 tons to the acre down. I figured 2 tons to the acre this time of year would probably be the smartest way to go. It's going to freeze in, work in, maybe wash some of it away, that kind of thing. So I kind of want to cover my bases here with that. It tells you everything. So if you slow down the apron or the drag chain underneath will slow down. You speed up, it speeds up. So everything seems to be working pretty well. It's getting awesome coverage. I mean, awesome coverage. If anybody wants to buy one of these things, I would recommend it. I mean, you can't hardly tell where you started and where you stopped, really. And then to shut it off, you push the button and that shuts the apron chain off. I mean, it works really, really well. So we're starting to get a little rain here. I was hoping we would not have rain today, but we're getting rain. So, yeah. And we got frozen weather here, frozen ground. This, as you can see, the Kentucky 31 was severely impacted this year by the weather. Turn her on. We're starting to jackknife. When it jackknifes, you hit the brake because this machine does have brakes. It works quite well. I've kicked her back on and you can see her going. I'd like to get some footage of me spreading, but that's not going to happen tonight. I just got no time to get out of the cab. I got Timothy loading me when I get back there so I can get this done. But you can see that there's no K31, hardly any K31 or anything left in here. This was a combination Kentucky 31, orchard grass, and it kicked its ass. It did. It literally kicked its ass to the curb. Timothy was supposed to bail this, but I don't know. It doesn't look like he did. But this little bit that I've got here will definitely fit on this farm here, on this field. This is just a small little field. So the plan is to put corn in. That's all. I'm going to put corn here on the home farm. It just makes sense. It's close to home. I can go right on into, right from the field to the dryer, and from the dryer to the, God, that was a rock. The dryer to the bin, from the bin to the train truck. Drop that down a little bit. I don't need quite that much. And you can see it's just really doing a fine job. I'm down to 0.65 tons, 60 tons. So when I'm done with this spreader full, this field will be done. It tells you when you're under applying, so you just kind of got to slow down a little bit and get her back up to that 2-ton rate. And yeah, that's working. I don't know if you can see that. They're calling this chicken litter, and it ain't. It's mushroom soil. Anyway, I'm going to get my hands on this thing because it's going to want to jackknife me.